Hello, welcome back to the Sports Doyens Daily Cricket Live. I've got Anurag and Siddharth with me. Welcome back, Siddharth Gulati. We have definitely
Hi.
missed you. And, good to see you smiling considering the day that has gone by. Anurag himself has a little balance in his mood. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed because of non cricketing reasons. I just discussed that with Siddharth a few minutes back. So
Right.
don't even want to get into it. But yeah, I mean, a fantastic day of cricket today. Regardless of which team you support, the Pakistan South Africa game was an absolute blockbuster. At one point, it looked like South Africa were going to cruise home, and then came a certain gentleman named Hassan Ali, who people have been doubting and putting names on him that he has slowed down his pace and things etc. But look at the fight from him. We saw a couple of days back what West Indies did to Bangladesh, and today, you could say a bit of a fight back from India, but a little bit in vain. We saw we saw a test match in Chepauk, which on day four, I mean, definitely one day past the moving day, but a fantastic battle between bat and ball. At times, the ball was absolutely dominating. Some bemused tactics because I don't think both teams really looked for a win today, but rather an interesting day of Test cricket in both in Rawalpindi and in Chepauk. And I would like to start with you, Siddharth.
Yeah.
First of all, it really was bemusing, wasn't it? The tactics which England used today, it didn't really look like they were going for the attack. Neither did it look like they really wanted to bat out the entire day. So, what do you make of that?
आई थिंक एब्सोल्युटली बिकॉज जो हमने गाबा में देखा था जिस तरीके से इंडिया ने एक अच्छा खासा टोटल चेस डाउन किया था लास्ट डे पे, तो वो चीज
Yeah,
ना कहीं एक ऑपोजिशन के माइंड पे प्ले करती है बिकॉज जब इंडिया ने किसी दूसरी कंट्री में जाके और वो भी एक ऐसे जगह पे जहाँ पे उसको एक फोर्ट्रेस कहा जाता था, तो उन्होंने उनको ब्रीच किया। एंड आई थिंक एट द
mm,
वेरी सेम टाइम अब यहाँ पे इंडिया अपनी कंडीशंस पे ही खेल रहा है। तो मुझे कहीं ना इंग्लैंड के टैक्टिक से एक बात जो समझ में आ रही थी वो ये था कि उनको ये क्लियर नहीं था कि इंडिया को क्या टारगेट सेट करना है, वेदर इट वाज 400 450 या क्या। एंड आई थिंक
yeah,
एट द वेरी सेम टाइम सेटिंग अराउंड 420 ऑड इज स्टिल अ वेरी वेरी गुड स्कोर। इंडिया को 381 चाहिए आई थिंक लास्ट डे पे, एंड यू हैव 9 विकेट्स इन हैंड।
yeah,
बट आई थिंक इंडिया का जो लेट फाइट बैक था दैट इज गुड, बट आई वुड स्टिल से कि कहीं ना कहीं इंग्लैंड आर स्टिल ऑन टॉप बिकॉज
yeah,
आई थिंक ओवरऑल जैसा पिच बिहेव कर रही है, एंड इंग्लैंड के स्पिनर्स डेफिनेटली जैक लीच एंड डॉम्बेस उतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, बट गिवन द फैक्ट दैट कि आई थिंक दे विल हैव अराउंड 90 और मे बी आई एम नॉट सो श्योर वेदर दे विल हैव अराउंड 98 ऑड ओवर्स, तो वो
yeah,
हाँ इंग्लैंड के लिए कहीं ना कहीं एडवांटेज होगा। बट यस, इंडिया विल रियली हैव टू बैट आउट ऑफ देयर skins to even save this test match, although Ishan Sharma has been very confident that they have the depth in their batting to go the distance once again, but I
yeah.
don't think कि उतना आसान होगा, but yeah, let's hope.
आई ऑल्सो थिंक सिद्धार्थ दीपदास गुप्ता ना थोड़ा पुश कर रहे थे उस एग्जैक्ट कमेंट के लिए जब उन्होंने वो इंटरव्यू लिया. बट या आई थिंक if you're Ishan Sharma, that's the thing you can say, right? You just can't go in a press conference saying that yaar ki we'll play for a draw. I don't think that's India's way either. I mean, India like to do these impossible things, but no matter what they say out in public, there is always a method to madness, which they have
Yeah,
followed in Sydney, which they have followed in Brisbane, which I feel they followed in Adelaide back in the day when Virat Kohli's first as a captain, and
right,
I'm
right,
sure we'll see that tomorrow as well at Chepauk. Anurag, obviously we try to dissect this game in the evening. Some of it was, totally demoralizing to dissect. To be honest, we saw Nathan come up with some excellent pointers regarding how England batsmen have looked good against spin and why they have looked good against spin. Because maybe
Yeah.
the likes of Shabazz Nadeem and Washington Sundar haven't been quality spin bowlers against them. I know the selection has been really bothering everyone. Nadeem over Kuldeep Yadav. But was it much to do with the tactics along with the selection itself?
See, once you get on the pitch, I think see, it's a tough thing to answer, but uh, had you picked, I think I'd say a little more with the selection because one thing in a stadium like Chennai, where the track acts the way it does, I mean, the way it has acted in the last few days,
right,
that is
right.
how it usually acts. So, one where it gets really difficult uh, for me, I think, hi Kushag, welcome back. Uh,
Hi, man.
Hey,
Hi.
what's up?
I said,
Hey.
so I think, see, toss is a huge advantage, and once you've
Yeah.
lost that, you expect the resources that you have to do something out of it.
Yeah.
Had we picked Kuldeep, I think at least there are, obviously we've discussed this before. We did not have any. England don't have any left arm Chinaman bowlers to practice with. So on a dead pitch, he offers something different. He offers a variety. He offers a little bit of mystery with which we could just about conjure up some wicket or something like that.
Yeah.
Jasprit Bumrah is another such bowler. He can bowl those just like slower Yorkers or something like that. He can conjure up something. That is what you need. You have to conjure up something because you can't really make anything out of this pitch.
Yeah.
I don't think Washington Sundar is that kind of a bowler. I don't think Shahbaz Nadeem is that kind of a bowler. At least in the things that we had, firstly, the thing that irritated me the most was the leg stump line bowling on day one, day two. I think
Right.
day one especially because it was dead as it got, dead
Yeah.
flat. There was no bounce, there was no nothing. It was just a sweeping practice in a training session for in the nets for all the
Yeah.
English batsmen who were playing that day. Joe Root
Hmm.
was hammering his runs. Dom Sibley obviously was very composed and he sort of played in a Pujara-esque way. That's the way we are calling it these days. Uh, he, and they got the runs. They look at them. They've posted a 420 run target. Everything went their way because we did the initial mistakes. I think. See, I'd not 100% blame this on Shahbaz or Washington because
Right.
Shahbaz this is not his kind of a track or a lot of the spinners of his kind would struggle. Washington
Yeah.
Sundar still this is just the second game he's playing. I think. Um, I think in the times to come, we'll see Washington Sundar more of as a batsman than as a bowler because I'm a little too much impressed with the way he's batting right now because
Yeah.
the confidence is showing. Not just the confidence is showing, is the technique that is shown.
Yeah.
In the little times that we saw in T20 cricket, when he's either trying to swing his bat, sometimes he's getting runs, sometimes he's not. Maybe we didn't really see the actual Washington Sundar. Now we are watching the actual one,
Yeah.
and I'm really really glad at that. And I hope he goes on to become a very very good cricketer in the coming days. We don't know what kind of a cricketer. I think that's the mystery here. But yeah, coming to the game, uh,
Yeah.
I think we've lost it in the selection. I think we've lost it in the playing selection.
Yeah.
Despite that, I think we have a comment from Ravi Shastri there. Uh, don't worry, boys. आज माल मिला दिया है एंडरसन आर्चर लीच एंड बेस्ट की ड्रिंक्स में कल अपन जीत जाएंगे. I'm not buying it.
Leave that, man. Leave that.
I
Yeah.
think
Totally.
just to add to Anurag's comments here,
Yeah.
I would slightly differ from it because see
Yeah.
Shahbaz Nadeem का जो selection है मेरे को उस पे कोई doubt नहीं है because see he has been a very good domestic performer for India, has over
Yeah.
400 plus wickets. Yes, definitely आप हर चीज में हमेशा starts में नहीं जा सकते, but ना जो एक experience factor था ना, तो उसके केस में उनको कुलदीप के ऊपर प्रेफर करना मुझे उतना मतलब खराब डिसीजन नहीं लगा. ठीक है, वो मतलब अब ठीक रहा या नहीं रहा, उन्होंने परफॉर्म किया नहीं किया, वो एक मतलब बिल्कुल ही अलग ही डिफरेंट टैंजेंट पे बात होने वाली है. लेकिन आई थिंक उस सिलेक्शन में मेरे को कोई उस बात से कोई इतना एतराज नहीं है. आई थिंक ऑन दी अदर हैंड इंडिया का जो मतलब अगर वॉशिंगटन सुंदर की आप जैसे बात कर रहे थे अनुराग, आई थिंक उनका बैटिंग तो ऑफ कोर्स बिल्कुल स्टैंड आउट करा है इन द 2 टेस्ट मैचेस दैट ही हैज प्लेड. बट आई थिंक यहाँ पे अब ऐसा था कि जब गाबा में उनका जो डेब्यू था तो उसमें ही वाज आई थिंक ही वाज द ओनली स्पिनर दैट इंडिया हैड.
Yeah.
यहाँ
Yes.
पे
He and Kuldeep were two, and they needed a
Yeah.
replacement for Ashwin basically, who could also bat. So it made sense.
एंड यहाँ पे ही इज द थर्ड स्पिनर दैट इंडिया हैव इन दिस गेम. तो वो रोल जो है ना उसकी वजह से भी कहीं ना कहीं जो थोड़ा रोल चेंज होता है एंड ही स्टिल अ यंगस्टर, तो उसमें भी कहीं ना
I don't have a problem.
Yes.
Siddharth, the only thing I wanted to mention with respect to Nadeem and Nadeem Kuldeep
Right.
selection was Kuldeep gives that little bit of variety you need on a dead pitch.
Yes.
That's my only point. And you had 3 orthodox spinners. You had the 3 kind of spinners that have been existing right from 1877 when Test cricket started. These are
Right.
very orthodox, very old-fashioned spinners. It's good, but अगर आप उनके साथ लेग स्टंप लाइन डालते रहोगे एक्सपेक्टिंग कि एक बॉल कभी ना कभी पिच आई मीन थोड़ा बाउंस होगा, ग्लव पे लगेगा, you'll bring that close in fielders into picture. That doesn't happen. It did not happen, and it was not going to happen. You're not fooling anyone with that. That was my only point. With
Yeah.
due respect to Nadeem, obviously we don't have anything against him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my only point. When you don't have the pitch is not doing anything, you actually have the resources. You have players like Kuldeep and Bumrah who can work out some magic.
Yeah.
अगर वो करेंगे या नहीं दूसरी बात है वो. When you have them, you got to pick them. That is my only point
Yeah,
as far as
absolutely,
that is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. No.
got a feel for Kuldeep also because see, इतने
Yeah,
टाइम
man.
के साथ ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, उनको ज्यादा मैचेस खेलने को नहीं मिले, तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा डिसअपॉइंटिंग स्टफ है. बट या
Yeah.
आई थिंक on the other hand, selection of Nadeem, it didn't come as a surprise to me because I think Nadeem को भी इसलिए पिक किया गया था because Akshar Patel got injured. Had he not got injured, I think he would have made his debut.
सिद्धार्थ,
Yeah.
also for me थोड़ा सा कुछ ज्यादा ही ये सिंपलिस्टिक डिसीजन नहीं था टू bring in शहबाज नदीम, बिकॉज आपने वहां लसित एम्बुल्डिनिया को देखा था, उन्होंने इंग्लैंड को परेशान किया था, बट हम ये भूल गए थे कि 550-600 रन खाने के बाद परेशान हुई थी इंग्लैंड टीम. मतलब खाने माने लगाने के बाद परेशान हुई थी इंग्लैंड टीम. एंड प्लस श्रीलंका में जो पिचेस थी वो डे 1 सेशन 1 बॉल 1 से पिच स्क्वायर टर्न कर रही थी. यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं था, ये पिच वैसी नहीं है. दैट इज व्हाई आई फील कल काफी टफ दिन है इंडिया के लिए, बिकॉज नौ ऐसी डिलीवरीज ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर पिच कैन बी देयर जिन पे आपका नाम लिखा है. दैट कैन हैपन. इंडिया विल हैव टू बैट आउट ऑफ देयर skins to actually be in this test match and then maybe reevaluate midway during the second session कि वो किसके लिए जा रहे हैं. Are they going for the draw? Are they going to just bat out the sessions? Or you know, maybe just maybe if we have wickets in hand, if we have the likes of Pant still in the bank, and you know we've not lost too many wickets at the top, then maybe we might risk it. But मुझे डाउटफुल लग रहा है. मुझे लग रहा है कि we'll have to go and save it, even though आज ईशांत was very bullish.
Yeah, very optimistic.
कहते हैं कि हम 9 विकेट नहीं देखेंगे, हम 381 रन देखेंगे, जो कि बहुत अच्छा है.
Good attitude. Yeah, good attitude.
बहुत अच्छा एटीट्यूड है, बट थोड़ा सा ना वो दूध का जला छाछ भी भूख भूख के पीता है, वो वाली बात है. थोड़ा सा चाय को ना थोड़ा भूख भूख के पीने की जरूरत है. क्या बोलते हैं कि यस, हमने गैबा में हमने कमाल मनाया था हमारी टीम ने, एंड दैट्स फैंटास्टिक. फैंटास्टिक फॉर द कॉन्फिडेंस. Once again, massive kudos to West Indies as well. कल उन्होंने एशिया में तो एशियन रिकॉर्ड तोड़ दिया, हमें वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड तोड़ना पड़ेगा कल. तो I think every day is not a Sunday, and tomorrow is a Tuesday. So let's hope हम लोग के लिए it's a lucky Tuesday in that sense.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think England are heavy favorites, aren't they? I mean,
Absolutely.
they performed very well, and you have to give credit to the English team. I think apart from today, wherein I won't give the day like entirely to England, because I felt उनकी थोड़ी negative approach थी. I think they should have declared at least 10 overs before they actually got all out. The whole Dominic Best padding Nadeem from when he's coming over the wicket. I think he must have padded 6-7 overs away.
Yeah. मतलब I think दोनों ने initiative actually surrender कर
India pad या टुकटुकाना शुरू हुए तो थोड़ा पॉइंटलेस लग रहा था. आई थिंक दे हैड डिसाइडेड बाय देमसेल्व्स कि हमें 13-14 ओवर से ज्यादा पुरानी बॉल चाहिए ही नहीं कल पहले घंटे के लिए. आई थिंक दैट वाज द थिंकिंग बिहाइंड इंग्लैंड नॉट पुटिंग इन इंडिया टू बैट. आई थिंक दे कैलकुलेटेड कि अच्छा अगर अब तक बैटिंग कर गए तो एट बेस्ट 15 ओवर ही डालेंगे आज. हमने 13 डाल दिए. ये भी कल 15 मॉइस्चर होगा, उसके बाद ये बॉल एकदम सॉफ्ट हो जाएगा. वो सॉफ्ट होगा तो फ्रॉम दैट 35th ओवर टिल द 75th ओवर, वो 40 ओवर का जो आपका पैच है उसमें रन आएगा, और वो बॉल भी आपकी इतनी ज्यादा क्या बोलते हैं कुछ ज्यादा हरकतें नहीं करेगी.
also moisture होगा कल सुबह पिच पे, जो भी रिटेनिंग मॉइस्चर होगा जो रात से आएगा. I think they must have also thought कि ये भी अगर थोड़ा बॉल भी थोड़ा हार्ड रहे ना तो we can actually exploit this better with Archer and James Anderson in the morning. Maybe Ben Stokes also bowls those hit the deck hard kind of balls. तो मे बी वो भी है. और गॉल में जो एक डिफरेंस था ना, अभी आई थिंक वरुण का ये कमेंट है व्हिच आई रियली वांट टू हाईलाइट, कि ये पिच वैसी श्रीलंका जैसी बनानी चाहिए थी, बट क्यूरेटर को इंग्लिश okay, I'm not going to entirely read that, but he wanted to have an English look. English look on the pitch. Yes. So I also feel ना, I've watched both the Galle test matches, but ये जो बॉल रुक के आ रही है ना अभी चेन्नई में, स्पेशली ऑन डे 3 डे 4, द बॉल इज लाइक लिटरली, इफ यू लुक एट द विकेट ऑफ डॉम सिपली, जो अश्विन की जब बॉल गिरी और सीधा सीम को जो आई ना बाउंस, वो जो ऐसा रुक के बाउंस हो रहा है, वो गॉल में एक्चुअली पहले दिन हुआ ही नहीं था, दूसरे दिन भी नहीं हुआ था. I felt it was only the second test match का fourth innings when it actually started like that.
Right.
Otherwise the ball was actually not going quick but still going at a normal pace but getting bounced. Chepauk में
Welcome
ये
to
difference
Chennai.
हुआ है. चेपॉक में यही डिफरेंस हुआ है कि बॉल एक्चुअली रुक के आ रही है. सो दैट इज व्हाई द विकेट्स दैट दे लॉस्ट टू एम्बुल्डेनिया, बिकॉज द बॉल वाजंट रियली स्टॉपिंग एंड दे डिडंट हैव द टाइम टू एडजस्ट. दे आर नॉट लूजिंग दिस विकेट्स हियर बिकॉज दे आर गेटिंग दैट एक्स्ट्रा फ्रैक्शन ऑफ अ सेकंड टू एडजस्ट. तो वो एक काफी बड़ा डिफरेंस रहा है मेरे हिसाब से. एंड आई विल टेक अ फ्यू कमेंट्स इन एंड देन आई विल हैंड योर जॉब बैक टू यू, कुशाग्र. Because we need you back on your job. Atul says India says we need runs and Rohit says I'm head out. Okay. That was nice. We've already taken Mr. Ravi Shastri and Varun's comments. I will just bring in Siddharth's comment. Should we just bring Sundar at number 4? यार अगर इसका भी हम इसका स्टीवन स्मिथ बना सकते हैं क्या? बना सकते हैं?
I would rather prefer to have Rishabh Pant at number 4, considering if Shubman Gill and Cheteshwar Pujara can hang in there for let's say another 25-30 overs, I would be really tempted to have Rishabh Pant at 4.
Rishabh Pant is such a tempting option, right?
Like there is any shot in the world Virat Kohli gives his number?
पता नहीं, मतलब it could happen. You never know with what happens.
There's one thing I'd really want to mention here. We always keep throwing back to that Adelaide 2014 December 24th because that is where all this madness started, didn't it? Like on the 5th day, everyone thought India were definitely going for a draw. Out comes this new captain. He bats like no one.
Yeah, that is what I want. Rather than Rishabh coming in.
Yeah, exactly. No. My point being, since then we've seen this team not thinking about a draw until there is really hope lost. Even what we saw in Sydney, we only gave up on that test when people were injured.
Right.
Obviously, that draw was as monumental as a win.
Yeah.
But we were in a fantastic position at one point. Even to go and
भी हमने 70 रन ही बचे थे, ज्यादा पीछे नहीं रहे,
ज्यादा नहीं बचे थे. आज कल डिफरेंस एक्चुअली यही होगा.
46 overs, fantastic stuff. And this is what you get with this team. I think even tomorrow they are not going to think about a draw until they are in a position where it's going out of hand.
Exactly.
When we thought we are losing this.
Yes. Correct.
अगर पहला सेशन खेल लिया ना, कल पहला सेशन खेल लिया ना हमने, मतलब if Pujara and Shubman Gill bat out the first session, I'm definitely expecting that onslaught in the second session, even if it's Virat, even if it's Ajinkya, even if it's Rishabh for that matter. Somebody will provide that onslaught because that is this team, right? It's a team in a nutshell that they want to win no matter what happens.
Plus, I can't tolerate that, man. The first thing that we always thinking, Siddharth यही बोल रहे थे, बस कोई ड्रामा ना हो, one sided जीत लो please this series, and you end up providing this kind of shit. My goodness.
I think I read someone's status on my Facebook account. I think it was Venugopal only. He said that Test cricket is alive and kicking in 2021.
Yeah, man, too much.
It absolutely is.
Test cricket looks like it's given itself a rebirth this last few days.
Look at this
Nadeem Twitter Shubman on 260.
If there is one person in India who would mind that,
man, this would be like the fairy tale story, right?
Absolutely. And
this is the fairy tale story. जिसको तुमने क्रिटिसाइज किया सिलेक्ट करने के लिए, उसी ने रिंग रन मार दिए. तो like that would be the best. Atul also adds another comment. Sundar to open with Gill. I mean left hand right hand combination चलेगा, कोई बात नहीं, तुम वो भी करके देख लो.
चलो अच्छा टेक्निक है, इतना भी अच्छा नहीं कि ओपन करे, चलो. I mean it's fine. Keep it in your pants now.
Yeah. TNPL देखने के ये side effects है. It's okay. We have seen him do brilliantly well in TNPL.
You never know.
You might see those no look sixes tomorrow from Sundar.
यार लेफ्ट हैंडेड लाइक बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर ओपनिंग से मेरे को बस इरफान पठान याद आता है, लाइक प्रॉपर इंडियन ओपनिंग बैट्समैन
Oh,
बन गया था at one point and he was
number
genuinely good
3.
opening the batting.
Yeah, yeah,
नंबर
What
3 भी बना
happened?
दिया
What was the end result, Prathamesh? Even that matters.
गंभीर रन से वाह, बट ओके मतलब
नहीं,
the end result
the
was
end
there.
result of Irfan Pathan, he
No,
sort
no,
of
Yeah,
let's
lost
not
his
start
original
on.
game. Let's not
Come
get
yes,
on,
there.
boys.
It's
yeah,
Off
not
that.
digressing into something else.
yeah, yeah,
See, I think one of the reasons why we got to the end in that Brisbane test was we started out very cautiously, and
right.
we, towards the end, it really matters as to how many runs you leave for the last 20 overs. We left
yeah.
out 90 runs, 85, 95 runs in the Brisbane test,
Hmm.
which is gettable. I mean, come on. These are days when you see 200 runs being scored in 15 overs sometimes.
Yeah,
So 80,
yeah.
90 on it's not totally impossible, and that's what
Impossible.
happened. So, but how much are you going to leave
Leave
tomorrow? I
behind.
think that is going to matter because
यार
the
देखो,
target here is very big.
एक और चीज
It's
कैलकुलेट करना
380.
बहुत बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट
Yeah,
है, जो कि मैंने
yeah,
अभी बताया। 13 ओवर हो चुके हैं इस बॉल से, ठीक है। कल
yeah.
90 ओवर होने हैं। 67th ओवर पे नई बॉल अवेलेबल होगी, वो उसी समय ले लेंगे। एंड 67th
totally.
ओवर पे न्यू बॉल लेना मतलब नेक्स्ट 23 ओवर्स विल बी टफ। रन्स आएंगे
Yeah,
बट बॉल उतनी ही डेंजरस हो जाएगी। So
yes.
this strategy I feel of last 20 overs may not work in Chepauk. बॉल
Yeah,
डेंजरस होगी उस टाइम पे। एंड इंग्लैंड जानता है, ये इंग्लैंड जानता है कि उस नई सेकंड न्यू बॉल के टाइम पे अगर इंडिया के 3 या 4 ही विकेट बचे हैं तो
Hmm.
देयर उतना हाथ रगड़ रहे होंगे, मसल रहे होंगे हाथ के, भाई बस बचा है। सो दैट इज व्हाट देयर एम इज। उनका एम है
Yeah,
कि इस बॉल को मेक दिस बॉल सिंग इन द नेक्स्ट 15 ओवर्स, गेट
yeah,
दीज टू गाइज आउट, एंड दे वांट गिल एंड पुजारा आउट। Personally, I feel Gill and Pujara have looked the two most assured Indian batsmen in this test match.
yeah,
Pujara was the unluckiest of unlucky men to get
yeah.
out the way he got out. It is
yeah,
unbelievable कितना बुरी किस्मत थी उनकी।
Right.
Secondly, I felt Shubman Gill was a little casual in that shot that he
Yeah,
played
yeah.
to mid
Yeah.
on, and I think मतलब सिद्धार्थ, I want your comment. जैसे
Yeah, yeah.
बॉल उनके बैट पे लग के टक आवाज करती है यार, मतलब वो जो मजा आता है।
शुभमन गिल्स बैट, yeah.
बैट ऐसे लाके ठक बस रख दिया है, पट करके बॉल गई
यार
है एकदम। आर्चर बेचारा भागते ही रह गया उसके पीछे, बॉल
भागता
ऐसे
ही रह गया।
उसको टॉन्ट करते हुए बोल रही कि आ बेटा बेटा, वो
हाँ।
एकदम बाउंड्री तक ले गई उन्हें। And
कुशाग्र,
मतलब
that's Sunil Gavaskar's
so
favorite
beautiful to
kind of
watch.
boundary. That's Sunny Bhai's favorite kind of boundary, जो फील्डर को
Yeah.
बाउंड्री रोक तक भाग के लेके जाए ना।
Exactly,
और यार
exactly.
सिद्धार्थ, उसकी बैट कितनी सुंदर दिखती है ना बिना स्टिकर की।
Right, right,
Beautiful.
absolutely. See, I think what India can actually do tomorrow, as far as when let's say Shubman Gill and Chiteshwar Pujara come out to bat. आज मैंने एक चीज देखी थी कि when South Africa were batting on day 5, when you
Yeah.
had Aiden Markram and Temba Bavuma, उनकी before they suffered a collapse, I think they lost around 7 wickets for 30-35 odd runs.
33 runs. Yeah.
Yeah, उनकी एक स्ट्रेटेजी बिल्कुल क्लियर थी, they were actually playing down the ground. यहाँ पे शुभमन गिल का जो फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में डिसमिसल था, वो हमने देखा कि वो हवा में शॉट मारा था, एंड देन you had a 38-year-old James Anderson who still looks like he's 25-26 years old.
Yeah.
तो एक चीज इंडिया को अपनी बिल्कुल क्लियर रखनी चाहिए कि जब आपको पता है कि आप एक ऐसा टारगेट चेस कर रहे हो जहां पे रन्स बहुत ज्यादा हैं और आपकी 9 विकेट्स हैं, जिसमें से आपका एक जो प्रीमियर बैट्समैन है वो भी आउट हो चुका है, आई थिंक इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप डाउन द ग्राउंड ही खेलो। हवा में शॉट मारने की बिल्कुल कोई जरूरत नहीं है टिल द टाइम, अभी आपको जब तक कोई उसकी नौबत ना आ जाए। तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू डील इन दोस बाउंड्रीज, टेक क्विक सिंगल्स, डबल्स एंड ऑल। और जब आपको लगे कि मतलब एक ऐसी सिचुएशन आ रही है तो आप उस टाइम पे कर सकते हो कि आप यू कैन गो फॉर दोस बिग शॉट्स। ऑन द अदर हैंड जैसे शुभमन गिल के हम के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, आई थिंक इज ड्यू फॉर अ बिग नॉक. He's yet to get that 1 3 figure score. You never know, it might happen tomorrow because I think उनको जो पूरा बैटिंग है, that is sheer talent with the way he just stands and deliver वाली बात है बिल्कुल। उनके जो शॉट्स होते हैं, you never know because he really has a calm customer on the other hand, and that is Chiteshwar Pujara. So Pujara's role will be what he did in Sydney and at Gaba, to just hold that one end and allow the other batsman to go for his shots.
Chiteshwar Pujara is like your calming down pill, right? You just have him on the non-strikers end. You are the most assured player in the world. उसके सामने like तुमको लगता है ये बंदा तो अपने विकेट कैसे भी करके देने ही नहीं वाला है. So you feel like you can take those risky shots, right? And also Siddharth, मतलब this is a question to all of you. I think is this the? I mean, you saw with Shubman Gill, right? That flamboyance to still go for an attacking shot no matter what the match situation is. ऋषभ पंत से तो हम continuously देखते हैं. I think
हम्म.
all of the Indian batsmen, even like Washington Sundar, जिसने वो एंडरसन को जो six मारा था, straight over his head. Do you think with the amount of confidence that these guys come in from the IPL, come in from the other domestic tournaments, there is that little bit of वो जो एक calming medicine होता है ना जो आपको लगता है games में, maybe that little maturity that you get in games, you do not get that without the experience of it, right? That is why you are seeing these kind of things with Shubman or probably with Rishabh. You saw it early on.
फिनिश प्रोडक्ट होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इस केस में. जैसे कि अभी यही कुछ टाइम पहले हो रहा था कि व्हेन आई टेक द केस ऑफ पाकिस्तान हियर, व्हेन पाकिस्तान वर लूजिंग मैचेस टू न्यूजीलैंड, जहां पे आपके बॉलर्स के बारे में बात हो रही थी कि शाहीन अफरीदी बिल्कुल टेस्ट मैच लाइन पे बॉलिंग नहीं करते. देन यू हैड नसीम शाह जिसमें 17 साल का बॉलर है, उसमें बहुत टैलेंट है, स्टिल ही इज नॉट लिविंग अप टू दैट पोटेंशियल. तो वहीं पे आई थिंक आई डोंट नो वेदर इट वाज शोएब अख्तर और समवन, उन्होंने बोला था कि ये ना फिनिश प्रोडक्ट नहीं है. On the other hand, if you see, these youngsters, Shubman Gill, Prithvi Shaw, ठीक है, he's struggling now, but we know, what a talent he is. Then you have Washington Sundar. इनको बहुत एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है. आप अंडर 19 लेवल पे भी खेले हो, आपने वहां पे वर्ल्ड कप खेला है, फिर अंडर 19 वर्ल्ड कप से पहले आपके अंडर 19 के एशिया कप का भी टूर्नामेंट होता है, वो भी बहुत कॉम्पिटिटिव होता है. देन यू हैव द आईपीएल, एंड देन देयर इज दैट डोमेस्टिक सर्किट जहां पे आपका रणजी ट्रॉफी है, सैयद मुश्ताक अली ट्रॉफी, एंड अदर टूर्नामेंट्स आल्सो. तो आपको इतना एक्सपोजर मिलता है, आप इतना, और ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो मतलब कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ही सीनियर प्रोज होते हैं जो उस पर्टिकुलर रिस्पेक्टिव रणजी टीम्स में होते हैं, तो उनके साथ रह के, उनके साथ एक्सपीरियंस उनका शेयर करके जैसे वो करते हैं. जैसे अभी शुभमन गिल ने युवराज सिंह का इन्फ्लुएंस के बारे में भी काफी बात करी थी. देन समवन आल्सो इज राहुल द्रविड़. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है आई थिंक इन्हीं सब. और जैसे एनसीए में तो अब हमने देखा ही है कि राहुल द्रविड़ इज द हेड देयर. तो फिनिश तो ये प्लेयर्स हमारे होके निकलते हैं ना, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड दैट इज दिस क्लियरली शोज कि आपके जो इंडिया ए के टोर्स होते हैं ना, वो कितने इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं.
राइट.
ऋषभ पंत का भी मेन नाम तो ऑफ कोर्स अंडर 19 वर्ल्ड कप में था ही था, देन ही डिड वेल इन रणजी, लेकिन फिर धीरे धीरे एज अ फिनिशर तभी देखा गया था जब उन्होंने इंडिया ए के टोर्स में बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म किया था.
यस यस,
टोर्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all in all, it just speaks volumes about this team कि हम लोग ने इस स्टेज पे आके भी हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कैसे हम लोग निकाल लेंगे गाड़ी. इतनी सी वन वे पे टू वे गाड़ियां चल रही हैं, हम लोग उसमें भी तीसरी गाड़ी साइड से निकाल रहे हैं. दैट इज टॉक्स अबाउट द कैलिबर ऑफ द टीम. इन्होंने क्या परफॉर्मेंसेस दिए हैं एंड कैसा इन्होंने परफॉर्म किया है इन द पास्ट. आई नो हम लोग बहुत डिसअपॉइंटेड है रोहित शर्मा के आउट होने से. आई नो आई वाज वेरी डिसअपॉइंटेड. 5:30 बजे का जो हमने पोस्ट मैच लाइव किया था, was quite annoyed with रोहित जब जिस समय वो आउट हुए थे. ऑनेस्टली वो जब वो सिंगल लिया ना स्विवल करके बाउंड्री मारने के बाद, मुझे मन करता काश ये सिंगल ना होता, ये बाउंड्री होती. आई डिडंट वांट हिम टू फेस दैट लीच बिकॉज़ Shubman was looking so confident against the spinner. I didn't want him to face Jack Leach at all, and वही हुआ जिसका मतलब क्या कहते हैं, थोड़ा डर लग रहा था. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली बॉल भी ठीक थी, बट आई फेल्ट ही प्लेड डाउन द रॉन्ग लाइन एंड वो थोड़ा सा ड्रिफ्ट में मात खा गए. एंड anyway what is done now. It cannot be undone. But I would request Indian fans once again, this is I know patience is a rare commodity. It's a very very sought after commodity, but थोड़ा सा धैर्य रखिए, थोड़ा सा patience रखिए, because I don't think all is lost, or that Rohit Sharma overnight has become a bad player. I may be guilty of it myself as well. Momentary reactions सबके आ जाते हैं, but when you have time for yourself, when you think about it, you can't really go around dropping Rohit Sharma. Come on, man. It's Rohit Sharma. आज नहीं तो कल आने वाली innings. You cannot keep a good man down. It's the same for Virat Kohli. And जैसा अनुराग ने बोला, I'm honestly waiting. मुझे ना ऐसे तरस गया हूँ मैं वो बल्ला उठते हुए, वो ना उठ के वो अंदर से निकलेगी, रिंग को किस जाएगी, बैट से किस निकलेंगे.
Yeah, man.
I've had enough of not watching him score centuries, man. It's almost like I've grown up on Virat centuries. It's like for fuel. It's like a fuel to go keep living. 70 centuries है भाई साहब की यार, मतलब मजाक नहीं है यार. 71 tomorrow is desperately needed, and I want him to come with that resolve that only he can show, because in the end there is a reason he's the king. There's a reason he's the king. So I'm just hoping that we see that we see that avatar of Virat back tomorrow. I'll just take a few comments, guys, and uske baad I'll come straight to you guys.
Yeah.
About
By the
what
way,
is-
back to you, Kushagra. Back to you. The hosting duties
Thanks, man.
officially
Thanks.
transferred.
Thanks, BB. I'll take a few comments. I think Siddharth is his screen's frozen. So quickly, I'll go run through a few comments before he gets back. Sundar and Nadeem open after that. Then, nahi yaar, Siddharth. I think that will be too far. Pawan, Suresh,
Sure,
Pawan,
Pawan.
welcome to the comments. He also said hello earlier. Hi, Pawan. Pawan says Gill will score a century. Pawan, we are all hoping for a century from Gill. I think Shubman Gill has looked, along with Rishabh Pant, he's looked the most assured non-centurion in the last 2 months. And we want both of them to become the assured centurions that they deserve to be. So
Yes.
that says, scenes tomorrow, India needs 114 1 over Pant on non-strike. पुजारा भाई हो जाएगा, डरो मत. एक कमेंट था बॉल
Pujara gives a meme material every game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
बॉल शॉर्ट फाइन के साइड से निकली थी. पंत पुजारा को चिल्ला के बोलता है, भैया पुजारा भैया भागना पड़ेगा, पुज्जी भैया भागना पड़ेगा.
Man, seriously, like I haven't ever thought of this, but Pujara, turns up in all these kind of awkward situations every now and then, right? In respect to people shouting at him. Rohit Sharma's done it
He
before.
is just too
obviously.
nice a man, isn't he? He doesn't say anything much in return. It's too lovely.
He's too good.
He's the hero we need, but the hero we don't deserve. Sorry.
Precisely.
That's a personal comment now from Atul. Give 9 wickets to Root, I don't mind. Anderson को wicket नहीं देना चाहिए. In what context I still don't understand.
अतुल भाई एक भी किसी को भी मत दो ना. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ किसी को कुछ भी मत दो. Let's be stingy. फालतू में क्यों देना किसी को कुछ.
Sometimes a draw is as good as a win. So even if India want to win, draw this test tomorrow, I'll be very happy. Very happy.
More than that. Come on.
आप देखिए ना, अगर इंग्लैंड के मुंह में आया हुआ निवाला आपने छीन के फेंक दिया, खुद नहीं खाया, फेंक दिया, इतना ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस डाउन होगा ना इंग्लैंड का, बिकॉज वी आर फॉरगेटिंग कि 3 टेस्ट मैच और खेलने हैं अभी. अगर वो इतना करके भी नहीं जीत पाए, जस्ट इमेजिन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एन इंपैक्ट इट वुड लीव ऑन देयर टीम. आई मीन they surely will not be very happy themselves. And let me be honest, ये टॉप ऑर्डर हर इनिंग्स में हर मैच में नहीं फेल होगा. मतलब ये जोक नहीं चल रहा है यहाँ पे कि हर बार आके रोहित शर्मा आउट हो जाएंगे, हर बार विराट कोहली फॉरवर्ड शॉट लेग में कैच आउट हो जाएंगे, या रहाणे फुल टॉस पे स्टनिंग कैच दे बैठेंगे. हर बार नहीं होगा ये. हर बार पुजारा का पुल तुम्हारी पीठ पे लग के नहीं उछलेगा. ऐसा नहीं होगा.
Imagine being Joe Root scoring perhaps the best double century of your career, and that game ending in a draw, like from such a good position.
Yeah.
That'll be bad.
I'll tell you, English media may not even talk about his double century. The questions are going to be raised on his captaincy
tonight.
That's what they do.
Yeah, that's the point. Anything can happen tomorrow, and that's the best thing about Test cricket.
Test cricket, of course. So Varun says KD, but if we have 6 or 7 wickets for the last 23 overs, say Gill, Kohli, Pujara and Pant on strike, then England will fear for those 23 overs. All is to bat out first session tomorrow. Absolutely spot on, Varun. I think you need to set up the last session. Last session में मेरे हिसाब से लगभग 28-30 ओवर बचेंगे by the time you come on the post lunch session. Around 28 to 30 overs will be left. And that is when you need to decide. It could be because it's an extended session. It could be 32 to 35 overs as well. So,
just a thing to add, Kushagra. England yesterday they missed out 4 overs. Today I would blame them half as well for missing out today's overs as
missing
well.
out on 4 overs, yes.
5 overs today. Yesterday 4 overs. We've lost 9 overs.
Their average over has been 12.5. So it could be, if they get a draw, they could actually get a 4-point penalty.
Yes.
For over rate. So that could also go against them. So let's see what happens. Sundar ahead of Rahane tomorrow? No, Mac. I don't think they'll send Sundar. I think there is a chance Pant may come ahead of Rahane, but again, I don't think Pant either will come, because if Rahane is going to come to set the momentum, we saw what he did in Brisbane. That quick 24 that he scored.
Fantastic, yeah. Very underrated.
And so Pujara blockathon tomorrow. By every comment, इसका गिल का स्कोर बढ़ रहा है. 265, 350, पूरे 420 गिल के ही होंगे.
कुशाग्र हम एक बात शायद भूल रहे हैं. Like I know Atul doesn't mean it that way because we talked about it in the evening. Pujara in India is not a blockathon. He plays with a strike rate better than
वही मैंने
50.
मेंशन किया था,
You
वही
saw
मैंने
his
mention,
intent on the first ball today, right? He cut the ball for a boundary. So his intent
even
is
in the
there in
first
India.
inning, he straight away
Yes.
got off the strike. And the thing
Yeah.
is, Pujara overseas versus Pujara in India, two different players altogether. The method, the approach, the whole how to say art of batting for Pujara changes when he comes in these conditions. And I
Yeah.
honestly felt not for a moment did he look in trouble in the first innings. And that Pujara
Yeah,
is my
right.
favorite
Right.
Pujara. When he's not looking
Yeah.
in trouble, because the thing is, he will have his idiosyncrasies जो कि दूसरी टीम को बहुत इरिटेट करेंगी. वो 4 बार पैड ठीक करना, 5 बार पिच पर टप्पा खाना, पिच को मतलब टॉक 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 करना, जाके इधर घूमना उधर घूमना, सेटल होना, फिर खेलना, फिर बॉल छोड़ देना, फिर सब कुछ करना, फिर बॉल छोड़ देना. बहुत मजा आता है देखने में मुझे. मतलब इतनी खुन्नस आती होगी दूसरे बॉलर को. मजा आता है. Hello Venu,
Good evening.
Hello.
good morning to you. We
Yeah.
hope you're doing well and आपको जगा के तो रखा होगा इस टेस्ट मैच ने. I'm sure आज रात भी जगाएगा ये अच्छा खासा. But we hope you're doing well and we hope to see you tomorrow. I'm sure Anurag will get in touch with you. Hopefully we can get on to the discussion that we had. Sid, we had discussed with Venu to go live along with him and his channel panelists, and we'll see if you're
Cherry and
free
Tempo
for
Talk, yeah.
one of the days. Every test
Yeah.
match के आखिरी दिन post match जो 10 वाला होगा, 10 o'clock वाला होगा, we'll try to go live with him and his team as well. So दोनों
Okay.
channels साथ में collaborate करने की कोशिश करेंगे. Let's see if we can set that up for tomorrow. If we can, we'd love to have you and we'll definitely invite you if you're free. If not for this one, any of the 4 test matches, if you spare your time, that would be lovely because I think बहुत
I'm
ही
all
शानदार
game for
conversation
tomorrow.
बनेगी.
I'm all game for tomorrow. Whatever the result, I'm in.
हाँ,
Yeah.
भाई मैं बता रहा हूँ यही पॉजिटिविटी देख के मुझे लग रहा है बस कुछ होने वाला है बस कल.
Right.
Kush,
Yeah.
some traffic updates there. Yeah, that is true. ATK, Atul Kumar Maurya, that's every Delhi wala's life today. It is true. It is true.
Is there a lot of traffic today?
Huh?
Is there a lot of traffic today? Is it? No?
It's there is a lot of traffic every day. Which day is there no traffic? Lockdown में नहीं था बस. Lockdown में नहीं था. बाकी टाइम होता ही है.
Yeah.
When you're coming back with a comment, it's amazing how the India-Australia series has influenced thinking and thrown new perspectives.
Right.
Absolutely right, sir. England had it playing in their minds that no total is safe with India in the 4th innings, and we as Indian fans have started believing no total is impossible to chase. Absolutely.
Precisely.
मुझे लगता है डर खा गया इंग्लैंड को. एंड पता है कल ड्रॉ होगा तो ये डर की वजह से ही ड्रॉ होगा मुझे लग रहा है कि
I can already imagine how much the English fans will be. We've had Nathan today and he was so pissed, and because he was on camera, he actually curbed a lot of his anger in. But the way he was texting, I can tell you, he was so pissed off that Root did not declare like at least 10 or 15 overs earlier.
Right.
फिर अगर मैं होता इंग्लिश फैन या फिर मैं अपन इंडियन फैंस होते अपना रिवर्स होती पोजीशन, वहां विराट बैठ के अगर वो प्रोटीन बार खा रहे होते, कितनी गुस्सा आती उस समय कि भाई क्यों नहीं डाल रहे. रूट वहां पे कॉफी पी रहे हैं, स्टोक्स प्रोटीन बार खा रहे हैं, अरे भाई वो सब ऐसे
ये डॉम्बेस पैड पे पैड मार रहा है.
ट्रेनर्स में मुझे इतना इरिटेशन होता. Even when he was talking to James Anderson, if you remember this show, they showed those visuals. Root went and was on his I think on his haunches and talking to James Anderson. लग रहा था अबे यार भेज दो इनको अंदर, क्या तुम 10 रन से क्या कर लोगे. वही लिटरली 5 रन बाद ऑल आउट भी हो गए. बट नहीं, वो 20 मिनट खाए उन्होंने उन 5 रन के लिए.
Kushagra, I feel this was more a Silverwood decision than a Joe Root decision. For some reason, I feel that way.
PP, just a small thing. Let it be Silverwood, let it be Jeffrey Boycott who made this decision. It doesn't matter. Whatever Dombes did or whatever England did in that 10-15 over phase where they got like 50-40 runs, it did not help England. It did not help India. Maybe it did help India.
It did.
It helped India. No, for me, it was so boring to watch, man. Matlab, you expect them to go at least. They had the batsmen who can swing their bat. They could have gotten to that 420 at least 5 or 6 overs quicker.
Yeah.
Had they shown a little more intent, just even at least strike rotation, because there were deep fielders all across. Okay, who cares?
See, one thing that we have actually established is that England के जो अभी spinners हैं, वो उतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, तो उनको जितना ज्यादा से ज्यादा टाइम मिलना चाहिए ना अपने ओवर्स डालने का, और उनको जितना ज्यादा टाइम मिले कि वो विकेट्स निकाल सकते हैं, उसके लिए आपको ज्यादा ओवर्स चाहिए ही थे। तो उस एस्पेक्ट में मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि रूट का डिसीजन थोड़ा सा क्रिटिकल है, बट यू नेवर नो, यू नो, इफ एक्चुअली द रिजल्ट टर्न्स आउट इन इंग्लैंड्स फेवर, तो फिर सारी बात खत्म हो जाएगी। फिर ये सब जो आज हम डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं वो डेफिनेटली वो होगी, बट या
बन जाएगा ना।
Siddharth, it's like that Karun Nair triple century game, you remember? Everyone was criticizing Kohli for letting Karun Nair go for that 5-10 overs extra to get that triple 100. But we won the game on the final day, so no one cares about it. It's a bit like that, yeah.
Absolutely.
That is Ravi Jadeja special for you.
Yeah, of course. You know how much do we miss that man right now? Venu coming back to the comment, Sid, the Australian tour has made the Indian fans taste blood in terms of going for the win. Draw doesn't seem like a win anymore. It probably doesn't, but I think conditions will vary. अब रोहित शर्मा भी कमेंट्स में आ गए हैं, वड़ा पाव खिलाने के लिए बुला रहे हैं रवि भाई को।
Look at the DP. Look at the DP.
Look at the DP, man. Look at the DP.
ये कितना अच्छा था ना, ये जो चौका था।
So wonderful.
ऐसे दोनों।
Man, every time people start talking about draw, now I'm just getting very, very, very bad vibes right now. Like draw, yeah, I can't hear enough of that word right now.
This man, all of those English cricketers, even Bretley, I think he was talking about making this happen. Arey bhai, please let it be. Please don't even consider that 4-day thing. I'm not even going to entertain that thought.
This Venu's comment. On another note, I want Rihanna to sign a petition for the ICC to never consider the ridiculous 4-day test idea ever again.
You know, this is a legendary comment.
Yeah, indeed. Yes.
ये देख, आज जागरण होगा।
राइट
भाई मेरा भी होगा। Yesterday I slept at 5:30.
200 मिनट ज्यादा इजी है।
If Rishabh Pant does end up scoring the winning runs in this game ना, I will do the thing जो वो मिर्जापुर में दिखाया था ना, ऋषभ पंत की गाड़ी की नंबर प्लेट होगी ना, किंग ऑफ गुड़गांव लिख देंगे उसमें। वैसे भी भाई को वही लेना था।
किंग ऑफ गुड़गांव, क्योंकि वो गुड़गांव में घर ढूंढ रहे हैं ना, इसलिए। But also we haven't really acknowledged that because we've not had the opportunity. But our thoughts and prayers go out to the people affected with the Uttarakhand flash floods and the glacier that has suddenly burst there. It's horrible. हम लोगों ने videos देखे हैं. Even Rishabh Pant tweeted about it because he belongs to that region. And also in general, also you don't really need to be from that region to feel the plight of the people there. So our best wishes, our thoughts and prayers to the people who are affected and to the people who are risking their lives to protect and try to retrieve the people who are stuck there without any necessities and everything else. So that's it from our TSD team. But our thoughts and prayers go out for the people there. I think 5 मिनट हमें इस मैच के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए थोड़ा सा ना, because एक और टेस्ट मैच हुआ है। एक और टेस्ट मैच हुआ है। सिद्धार्थ says, यार थोड़ा डिकॉक को गाली दे दो प्लीज। I thought they were running away with it with Markram and Bavuma. A word on Aiden Markram. So happy for the guy. So happy for him कि उसकी सेंचुरी आई. He's gone through a tough time. जहाँ पे थोड़ा self confidence भी affect हुआ है from the incredible debut he had, wherein he couldn't stop scoring runs. He couldn't buy a run for the last year and a half. Going to Pakistan in the last innings on the tour that is there, or a target which seems unattainable, the man played a blinder. And even after getting a century, when he got out, you should have seen his face, how distraught and pissed off with himself he was. That is the face of a champion. That is the face of a winner. And I think going ahead, he is a face that can lead South Africa. I just don't want him to thrust the captaincy on him right now. Let him find his game. Let him find himself. Maybe आप 1-2 साल तक prepare करिए. कुछ किसी और senior बंदे को दीजिए captaincy जिनका की 2-3 साल का career बचा है. And then आप शायद Aiden Markram पे आइए. Let him be more confident in himself and his position. And I think in him, South Africa have one hell of a cricketer. So, but all in all, kudos to Pakistan. Hassan Ali, I think that's 10 wickets for the match. This fantastic 2 fivers in 2 innings. This incredible Mohammad Rizwan with his maiden century, becoming the 7th ever Pakistani keeper to hit a ton. Again, fabulous achievement by him. not to forget Noman and Yasir, who supported him very ably. And of course, Shaheen Shah Afridi getting 4 wickets on the other side. 5 for Hassan, 4 for Shaheen, and 1 for Yasir. Massive congratulations to Pakistan. First time in their history they've beaten South Africa by a score of 2-0. First time in 17 years they won a Test series against South Africa. So all records were broken,
Massive.
shattered, and everything else. Pakistan move up to 5th in the ICC Test rankings and the WTC table. So massive credit to Pakistan. Congratulations. I know there are problems still to resolve. There are still certain question marks and loopholes there, but all in all, international cricket वापस पाकिस्तान गया है. We as fans, जिन्होंने कि कई हम जैसे हमारी जनरेशन तो कई फैंस ने कभी देखा ही नहीं है. People were too young during 2004 and 2006 to actually appreciate and understand what were those test matches. And आप जब आप highlights देखते हैं तो शायद हमें समझ में नहीं आता है. It's a proud cricketing nation, and we are all very happy that cricket has returned there. And we hope to see more cricket, in Pakistan. We hope to see that their fans also eventually get to see more cricket. So, all in all, kudos to them and kudos to the team.
Also, Kushagra, like massive credit to Hassan Ali, because I know the amount of frustration people have on him since his pace is reduced. There's been a lot of chatter from a lot of big guns around Pakistan cricket. Ki ye kya, kyun le rahe hai, why are we persisting with Hassan Ali? And this test match is a perfect example of a Hassan Ali with a reduced pace but similar impact, like 10 wicket in Pakistan in a test match is not a small feat at all, especially जब तुम्हारे सामने यासिर और नौमान जैसे bowlers continuous wicket ले ही रहे हैं, but still you are able to be the driving force in the team. He didn't have a good first test match either. He was not scoring, but he didn't have a good match. And to come here to Rawal,
I felt his pace gradually increased though. His pace gradually increased in the
confidence के साथ आ गया ना. He was willing to put in more energy with the confidence that he was getting. He was,
and I
think that और पाकिस्तान को जिताने का जो उसका जज्बा था ना उस मैच आज जो था उसका जज्बा था incredible, and totally deserving of his 10 wicket haul in the game. I mean, you can't shower enough praises towards this guy, because he's been massive today. Massive.
Yeah. I would also like your comments on it, Sid. Just a point as well on Hassan Ali. He's had a fantastic Quaid-e-Azam trophy. He scored a ton, which allowed his team to actually tie a final, right?
Yeah.
The final was a tie, if I'm not wrong, Siddharth. So it is quite.
Yeah, even I don't remember clearly.
Yeah,
but
it was a tie.
That I remember.
Yeah, he had a fantastic Quaid-e-Azam trophy. So just a word on first on of course, because मैंने थोड़ा बहुत shout out दे दिया था, but Atul also wanted his own Markram shout out.
Yeah, no. Kushagra, the story behind it is a little different.
So yeah, come here. Pratmesh, if you could, Sid could finish, you could come in after that.
Yeah. I will.
Sid, just your views on the series and this match, of course.
Overall, of course, apart from, of course, we have talked about Hassan Ali and how the Pakistan bowlers, really set the win for their team. After the innings that Markram played and Temba Bavuma supported him really well. I think two things that were really for me, the talking points of this series were: number one, South Africa failing to seize the big moments. I think that's been the case with South Africa since the 2019 World Cup now. Whether they have played against England at home, or whether it was the T20 series against Australia at home, and now this Pakistan tour. I think South Africa do not lack talent. That's not the problem, and it's also not the case of them having not the likes of maybe Hashim Amla, AB de Villiers, and the other senior players like Dale Steyn. The problem is that South Africa is not actually seizing those big moments जहाँ पे आप ना मैच को अपनी पकड़ में ला सकते हो. जैसे कि सेकंड टेस्ट मैच में हमने देखा था कि पाकिस्तान की सेकंड इनिंग्स में दे वर वेरी क्विकली 5 और 6 डाउन, और वहीं से फिर मोहम्मद रिजवान ने बहुत अच्छा इनिंग्स खेल दिया था. एंड आई थिंक हेयर ऑल्सो कि यहाँ पे उनका भी अब जब वो टारगेट चेस कर रहे थे तो फिर उनका कोलैप्स हुआ. यस, देयर वर अ कपल ऑफ गुड डिलीवरीज, बट यू लुक एट द शॉट ऑफ क्विंटन डिकॉक. I really don't think it was really required at that moment, because he had just come onto the crease. तो उस टाइम पे मे बी थोड़ा पेशेंट होके अगर वो खेलते तो who knows what could have happened. And I think second talking point for me is the rise of Mohammad Rizwan. He was the man of the series during the tour of England last year, and now the man of the series again. Plus, he's brilliant behind the stumps. So, I've actually been talking about Rizwan with one of my friends who is also a cricket fanatic. And I think there has to be a lot of, coverage that I really feel that has to be on Rizwan now, because he is actually ticking most of the boxes that Sarfaraz was failing to before he
Yeah.
actually got dropped. He's
Yeah.
doing very well behind the stumps. In Test cricket, he's actually undroppable. In 13 tests, I think he has around 6 or 7 50s and 100, which he scored,
Yeah.
in 50. And then in
And
T20s,
all of them,
doing very
almost all of them, Siddharth, in positions when when the top orders collapsed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it actually, it actually reminds me of, what Quinton de Kock used to do for South Africa
Yeah.
when they had,
Yeah.
3 and of course, what Brad Haddon did for Australia in that
Yes.
Ashes.
Yeah.
तो आई थिंक ये जो रोल होते हैं ना, इनके बारे में बहुत ज्यादा बात और इन पे आई थिंक कवरेज बहुत अच्छे से होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज आई थिंक रिजवान इज डूइंग अ वेरी गुड जॉब एंड देयर हैज टू बी, पीपल रियली नीड टू बी टॉकिंग अबाउट हिम अ लॉट मोर.
Yeah.
तो या आई थिंक ये दो बहुत बड़े टॉकिंग पॉइंट्स थे. एंड आई थिंक पाकिस्तान को यहाँ से जो एक चीज कहीं ना कहीं मेरे को ऐसा लगता है करनी चाहिए ना, वो ये है कि थोड़ा अपनी परफॉर्मेंसेस में कंसिस्टेंसी और चाहिए आपको.
Yes.
यू रियली रियली नीड की, अगर आपने अभी अपना जीतना शुरू करा है, यू रियली हैव टू ट्राई टू विन, कि आपकी जो अप्रोच है वो कहीं ना कहीं बिल्कुल उसी तरह. ऑफ कोर्स अप्रोच तो हर टीम की रहती है, आपकी परफॉर्मेंसेस वैसे करेक्ट हो. जैसे कि अब हमने इंडिया का देखा कि जैसा कंसेक्यूटिव सीरीज विंस इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया, और आज हम देख रहे हैं कि मतलब कहीं ना कहीं इंग्लैंड का भी माइंडसेट क्लियर नहीं था कि उनको कितना टारगेट छोड़ना है. तो वो जिस तरीके का जो ये डर मतलब एक ऑपोजिशन में कहीं ना कहीं हमको नजर आया ना, पाकिस्तान को वो धीरे धीरे करना बहुत जरूरी है. तो यस,
Yes.
मेरे लिए ये दो आई थिंक बहुत बड़े टॉकिंग पॉइंट्स है.
Huge,
course.
huge. Also,
हाँ,
रिजवान
पूरी
ना
बता रहे
हाँ हाँ, तो वो तो बता ही रहा हूँ. आई थिंक रिजवान और ऋषभ पंत को अगर कमेंट्री में बिठाया जाए ना यार, इट विल बी अ वंडरफुल सेशन ऑफ कमेंट्री. मतलब रिजवान consistent.
It's a stand-up session, that is.
It's a stand-up session. मतलब I don't feel the batsman will want to bat also. Like उसको बस सुनने में ही मजा आ जाएगा अगर उसको हिंदी समझ आ जाए तो.
नहीं
और
नहीं
अतुल
नहीं,
यार,
सुनने में मजा नहीं आएगा. They'll get so irritated. They'll get so irritated. एक point पे वो बैट लेके स्टंप में मार के he'll say I'm hit wicket, मुझे नहीं खेलना है, and he'll go back. There's no way any batsman is enjoying that.
And then Niroshan Dekwela will be the head
Dikwela.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Potentially.
yeah. Also, yes, massive shout out to Atul because उन्होंने कल predict किया था कि Markram century मारेंगे after our whole discussion of whether it's a jinx or not. And my dad reminded him in the morning when Markram actually scored a century कि there was this guy Atul who actually said it yesterday कि उसने century मारी है. उसको ये भी बोलना कि रोहित 200 मारेगा. लेकिन जब तक वो नौबत आई तब
One
तक
for
तो
his
यार
one.
मतलब आउट हो गया वो. मतलब अतुल लाइव पे आ नहीं पाया. तो अभी अतुल तू जहां कहीं भी है, प्लीज पोस्ट इट ऑन द कमेंट कि शुभमन, एंड आई थिंक इज ऑलरेडी प्रेडिक्टेड 300 फॉर शुभमन, राइट? सो यार बस ठीक है, मतलब तूने ऑलरेडी अपना काम कर दिया है. यस,
I'm booking a flight to wherever he lives, give him a big hug and just come back again. If really
कुशागर अपन
that
भी
what his
ड्राइव करके
prediction
चले
comes
जाएंगे.
true.
अपन भी सब
भाई
ड्राइव
बहुत
करके चले
इतना भी
जाएंगे.
पास नहीं है, इतना भी पास
चलेगा,
नहीं
कोई
है.
बात नहीं. अरे अपन
इलाहाबाद
एडवांस
में
में
रहता
ड्राइव
है.
करके आएंगे, कोई बात
अनुराग
नहीं.
ने मैसेज में कि वो हम सबके लिए फ्लाइट्स बुक करा देगा, कहेगा 2-3 दिन घूम
Oh,
के आएंगे.
lovely.
So smooth and so smart. Yeah.
So nice of you, man. So courteous.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Anurag.
Talking
Please,
about
please keep
Atul,
checking your mail. Yeah.
talking about Atul, he's there in the comments right there. Quinton needs to learn from a certain Indian left-handed keeper. Of course, he can look at Rishabh for inspiration, but I felt Quinton is like the version 1 and Rishabh is actually the version 2 because I remember
Right.
when QBK came in, भाई हिंदुस्तान तो ऐसा इंडिया की टीम तो ऐसे भाई राम नमस्ते करने गई थी, भाई छोड़ दे अब.
Exactly.
सेंचुरी, मतलब 6 लगातार सेंचुरी, और मजाक बना दिया था भाई ने यार. इंडिया में खेले तो सेंचुरी, साउथ अफ्रीका खेले तो सेंचुरी, इतना मारा है उसने इंडियन टीम को. तो इसीलिए एज एन इंडियन फैन तो मुझे बहुत ही सरप्राइजिंग लगा जिस तरीके से उनके विकेट्स गिरे हैं. आई थिंक देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम इन द बैकग्राउंड. दिस इज नॉट द क्विंटन डी कॉक वी नो. I
Yes,
cannot
definitely.
accept this fact. I rate him very highly as a cricketer.
Yeah.
I rate him as
Absolutely.
one of the world's, foremost finest cricketers. And I rate him as an all-round cricketer because he's a fabulous wicketkeeper. And even as a keeper, he looked like, his brain was muddled, his thinking was muddled. First test match में 4 लगातार गलत reviews लिए South Africa की टीम ने, which I think is some sort of a record. I don't think that has happened in international cricket. 4 consecutive losses of reviews. I think I don't know if that has ever happened because commentators did mention that. So let's see what happens. Venu again with the comment there. Great point, Sid, about English spinners being inexperienced, but somewhere I feel England had the stronghold for the first 3 days and somehow have let the momentum shift towards India. They have,
Plus,
at least that is how it seems right now. I don't think they'll be concerned in their dressing room, but I don't think they'll be as confident as they were last night. I think that's a fair way to put it, maybe.
right.
Yeah, अब Greta भी I stand with cricketers. ICC is planning to take away the right of 5-day cricket, the OG cricket. All right, Greta. Varun is also laughing at that only. Venu again with a comment. Rizwan is a great talent. Love his confidence both with the bat and his work with the gloves. Also, his constant chatterbox giri at the behind the stump. Fantastic. That Azhar Ali comment कि अजहर भाई वो कैट बबल का हिस्सा नहीं है.
यार
वो कैट बबल का हिस्सा नहीं है. And this one from Pant. मेरा नाम है Washington.
मुझे जाना है DC.
Fantastic stuff.
And Spider-Man भाई वो कैसे बोल सकते
हैं? That is epic.
That जहां कहीं भी है made me feel like a homeless lad.
Allahabad. We'll reach Allahabad, Prayagraj.
रोहित says QD के IPL के लिए रन बचा रहे हैं. ठीक है यार. अगर ऐसा है तो ठीक है. अभी तो खैर वो ऑलरेडी घर जा रहे हैं. I don't think he's part of the T20 squad. I think उनका second squad खेलेगा तो he is going home because he was earlier going to prepare for the Australian series. Now unfortunately that's not happening. So
right,
the main South African squad is going home. So guys, I've taken all the comments and आज कुछ ultra efficient हो गया है. हम लोग का आज comments खत्म हो गए हैं. We still have 5 minutes to go in an hour. A quick 5-minute recap, from all three of you. So I'll start with Pratmesh. Pratmesh, I would request all three of you to just take a minute each, at best, a minute and a half too. Tell me two things. One, what is your approach if you are sitting in the dugout in terms of telling Shubman and Pujara how to go about it in the first session, and what is the prediction for the start of the third session? I can't really ask you match and prediction because सबका वही होगा draw win.
Draw win, exactly. If I'm Pujara and Shubman Gill, obviously I'll be really happy if the first 10 overs are played out. उसके बाद मतलब वो जो एक initial little bit of moisture जो भी बचता है Chepauk में, और उसके बाद लो जो न्यू बॉल भी थोड़ा ओल्ड हो जाएगा, it will be 23 overs old by the time it actually gets to the 10 over spot tomorrow. I think if we can, I think 10 run भी बन गए इस 10 over में तो भी I'm fine with it. I think after that we can actually accelerate because then players like Jack Leach and आपका Dom Bess will continuously be on. We have seen how comfortable Shubman is to Dom Bess or Jack Leach. We have seen how good Pujara is with spin, the way he steps out. So that will be there, obviously. To be honest, win बहुत दूर की बात लग रही है. The only reason being that it's 381. So even if you score 200 runs in the first two sessions, which is also a very incredibly difficult task. उसके बाद थर्ड सेशन में भी आपको ऑलमोस्ट उतने ही रन मारने हैं एक सेशन में जो आपने 2 सेशन में बनाए हैं. तो आई थिंक इंडियाज टारगेट, आई थिंक इफ इंडिया लुकिंग एट इट रियलिस्टिकली विल स्टिल बी ओनली टू स्कोर लाइक 85 runs in the first session, about 100-120 in the second session, and then look ahead from there. Obviously the primary objective is not to lose a wicket.
You've just left 180 runs for them.
Exactly, but that's the thing, right?
35 overs. I think that's the 6 run rate. I don't think that's attainable.
That's the thing, right, Anurag? But क्योंकि आप वैसे भी
I get it.
25-26 overs
में
अगर आप 26 overs में 120 रन बना रहे हो, that's still a run rate of more than 4 runs an over, or almost 4.5 runs an over, which is incredibly difficult. So it's almost difficult to predict a win. I think that's the only approach Indians can possibly take. And उसके बाद third session, if you have Rishabh Pant still in the waiting, I think importantly, if India can only lose 1 wicket in the next 2 sessions or maximum of 2 wickets in the next 2 sessions, 180 run 35 overs में impossible नहीं है. We can get there.
All right. I'll come to you, Siddharth. What about you? Same question. आप शुभमन और पुजारा को क्या advice देंगे? And what is your prediction for the start of the third session?
See, I think, I've said this thing, a couple of times back, in the previous shows that I've come on, and it might sound a little boring, but I'll, reiterate that thing again. Please play down the ground. There is no point being, too ambitious. आप आराम
Yeah.
से खेलो. Yes, draw is the last resort, as said by Virat Kohli, a few years back. I understand that, but sometimes a draw, and that too against a formidable opposition like England, it's as good as a win. Because जिस
Yeah.
तरीके से इंग्लैंड पिछले 3-4 दिन में खेला है, उनको आज ड्रॉ पे लाके अगर कल इंडिया इन केस रोक देता है, that will be a very, that's actually going to be a psychological win for India. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think if I am just coming back to your question, if I am let's say what I would expect from someone like Gill and Pujara, very important to just hang in. ज्यादा रन अगर नहीं भी आए फर्स्ट सेशन में, as Prathmesh also said, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है अगर 70-80 रन पे आते हैं तो आपको विकेट नहीं खोना बस. बिकॉज द पॉइंट इज कि आप जितना जल्दी ज्यादा आप अपना, अगर आपने 2-3 विकेट ही पहले सेशन में अगर खो दिए, आई थिंक दैट इज जस्ट मोर, दैट विल जस्ट मोर और
Yeah.
लेस सील द डील फॉर इंग्लैंड. सो इट्स
Yeah.
वेरी
Yeah.
इंपॉर्टेंट टू जस्ट हैंग इन देयर. एंड जितना आप ज्यादा कॉशियसली इनिशियली खेलोगे, there is a very good chance that कि इंग्लैंड प्रेशर में आ सकता है, and then you can go for the runs. Because see, let's not forget, we have two left-handers who are actually in very good form, Rishabh Pant
Yeah.
and Washington Sundar. So yeah, if let's say by the end of 1.5 sessions, we've had Gill and Pujara scored those 50s and all. I really expect someone like Rishabh Pant to be promoted at number 4 or number 5, because then then you can actually say it's game on at Chepauk.
अरे गेम ऑन हो गया तो यार मतलब फिर तो
My heart cannot take it anymore.
मुझे अभी से नींद नहीं आ रही है यार, मुझे अभी से
I
नींद नहीं आ
know.
रही है. I don't know how will I
I
sleep
know.
for the next, I don't know how many hours are left. Approximately 10 hours to go, 10 and a half hours to go before the first ball is bowled. So Anurag, same question, same what is the advice that you'll give, and आपका prediction before the start of the third session?
I was just about calculating what is the required run rate, and I'm sort of backing these people, for these English people, to not bowl 90 overs again. I think kuch na kuch karke. I don't know. They've done it twice. You
85?
never know.
85?
Yeah, exactly. I've actually calculated for 85 overs. That's exactly what I did, and the required run rate then is 4.48, 4.5. So let's see what happens there. But some historical context to this: 1979, the final Test match of the 4-match series, India needed 438 runs to win. Sunil Gavaskar mounts one of the great knocks of his entire career.
Right.
India fell like 9 runs short. And that too because India were 390 for 3. That was when Gavaskar got out and things sort of started to unravel after that. Otherwise, India would have won that. And I don't think this 420 would have been the highest run chase ever. It would have been the second biggest for us at this point in time. So it has happened before. There is no need for us to think it might. There's always a first time. And I think people who are not as aggressive, even Sunil Gavaskar, sometimes when people like him, when he thought chalo runs banane hain, they went and they scored it. I think we have batsmen in this lineup. We have Kohli, we have Rahane, we have Pujara. I would be least surprised if he's the one who's actually going on to get the 100, 150, which eventually plays a pivotal role in us getting a draw or a win. But again, being incredibly realistic, 380 is just a tad out of realistic expectation. Even to a certain extent, even out of an optimistic expectation, that is a little out of reach. So again, as Siddharth rightly put it, I think a draw here is as good as a win. As he said, it's not just about the formidable opposition that England is. It's also in the circumstances under which we'll get to a draw. If we get to a draw, England will feel they have lost it, and India will have felt we've got something out of nothing. That is a fantastic way to start the series. So that's what I'm hoping. Let's see what happens.
Right.
So I'd like to end this live on. Of course, we'll take the 3 comments that's come. I was very disappointed with Van der Dusen not performing to his ability.
Yeah.
Varun says that's Atul. Varun says if at the end of the first session we have 1995 runs without a loss, I think we'll go for a win. भाई अगर 1995 runs हो रहे हो, मैं तो उसी first session का आधी भांगड़ा कर रहा हूँ honestly, क्योंकि I know what it will set up. I know what it will mean then. अगर बिना लॉस के 1995 है भाई, फिर तो ताबड़तोड़ मजा आ जाएगा.
KD, it means that Rishabh Pant hasn't come in yet.
Bro,
Yeah.
hit means no one's gotten
Exactly.
out. It
No
means
one's got
Shubman
out.
is hitting the
Exactly,
ball
that's what.
to all ends of the park, and he's already
Yeah.
gotten to a 50. Pujara is at the on 30 or 40. So that's going to be interesting. Atul says, boys, you missed my Pujara scoring comment. Anurag, if you could just have a look if there's any Pujara scoring comment until I
I don't know.
give my.
I think we've covered all of them.
I
Atul is
thought
just
I
looking
thought
at
I, I thought I covered Atul's comments. And if I've missed,
Yeah.
sorry, Atul. If you could comment that again, I will read that out. I'll just give my final views and wrap this up. Varun says first innings England run rate of 3.03, India 3.54, England 3.83, now India 4.23 without losing much wickets. India have played faster than England.
I think he's referring to the blockathon comment. I think we've actually had a
Yeah,
2
we've
minute
actually
discussion
had
on
a
that.
yeah.
We've had a discussion on that. If it's a different comment, please do send it on. We're here on. We're live for 1 more minute. Yes, this is. I think this is the point of the night wherein I thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us here. Siddharth, of course. Thank you so much. It's always a delight for us to have you on our lives, and let's hope कल जब हम लोग एक दूसरे की शक्ल देखें तो मतलब the smiles are beaming and छाती फूली हुई है, सीना फूला हुआ है pride से, जैसे कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया के बाद often हुआ. तो let's hope that is the case. But all in all, again, as I say, almost
Atul, it's the same comment. This guy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Atul, you're not supposed to miss even 1 minute of his life. Come
अब
on.
उल्टा हो गया. चलो गिल ब्लॉक को तुम्हारे पुजारा ने कुछ भी कुछ भी बोल रहा है.
Gill blockathon and Pujara. Gill blockathon is the KKR mentality.
देखा नहीं, गिल का ब्लॉक लगता है टक को चौका जाता है.
KKR mentality. Curb is batting ना, वही है.
Yeah. So anyway, coming back to this, let's hope that this Indian team pulls another rabbit out of the hat. जैसे कि उन्होंने हम लोग के लिए हम लोग को भी थोड़ा सा I think चने के झाड़ पे चढ़ा दिया है. Our expectations have risen from this team, and long may that continue. I hope that Pujara and Shubman, I know Pujara will show incredible application and determination. I hope Shubman follows suit, takes cue from the partner, just like Rishabh Pant seems to have evolved his game, in which the beauty and the beast combination चलता है ऋषभ पंत और पुजारा के बीच में. I hope Shubman can replicate somewhat of that particular form from Rishabh, and take cues from there, because if Shubman goes on to score a ton, regardless of whatever the result is, I think हमें एक, and ये विक्रांत सर ने बहुत बार बोला है स्पोर्ट्स तक पे, डर्बन में हरभजन सिंह ने विराट कोहली को अपने रूम में बुलाया था 2010 में जब ये लोग गए थे टूर पे, और उन्होंने विराट कोहली को तब विक्रांत गुप्ता सर फ्रॉम आज तक स्पोर्ट्स तक ऑफ कोर्स वाज देयर विद हरभजन सिंह इन हिज रूम, एंड तब विराट कोहली का टेस्ट मैचेस में सिलेक्शन तक नहीं होता था उस समय, तो उन्होंने डेब्यू भी नहीं. हरभजन ने ऐसे रख के हाथ रखा था विराट कोहली के कंधे पे, बोला था, ओए अगर तूने 10,000 रन नहीं मारे ना तो तेरी तो ब्लिप 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 टेस्ट मैचेस में. हरभजन ने बोला था विराट कोहली को, और देखिए आज विराट कोहली कहाँ है. मेरे हिसाब से कल अगर शुभमन comes out of age, I think someone from this team can take Shubman to the side, put his hand on his shoulder, and कह सकता, ओए तूने अगर 10,000 टेस्ट रन नहीं बनाए ना तो देख लियो.
Great point.
ये लड़का बहुत अच्छा प्लेयर है, इनको देख के इतना मजा आता है. So I'm hoping for big things from Shubman, and of course King. I think आपकी प्रजा आपको बहुत दिनों से ढूंढ रही है, तो प्लीज आ जाइए. And we want to see you score runs. And on that note, Atul says good session live, guys. Thank you so much, Atul. And Pujara नहीं होगा फिर वार्नर की तरफ फेस वॉक करके पंत होगा, whatever जैसे भी होगा. But I hope India puts on a brave performance, a fantastic performance tomorrow. Once again, massive thanks to Siddharth, Anurag, and Pratmesh for joining us here. Guys, please keep watching our sessions. Tomorrow is a massive day once again for Test cricket, and as Venugopal said in the comments, Test cricket is truly alive in 2021. And on that note, I'll take your leave. This is me, Kushagar, signing off, and keep watching.